Thomas, thank you so much for joining me today.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, so just a bit of an introduction to you. So you are from Liverpool.
Yes, I am.
When did you start getting into the creative arts?
Well, mainly it was in high school, because the whole story behind it was originally I was going to do a history GCSE, but I think my parents kind of pushed me to do an acting one because they saw like this kind of potential in me, if that makes sense. And so I carried on for that till A levels, and then went to John Moore's uni for 3 years and did a whole degree there, mainly in just acting and improvisation as well, and how to like kind of add that into acting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I know there's a lot of talent that have come from Liverpool, the Beatles.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I must say, you're my first Gen Z guest, which is amazing. I went on your profile and I was just like, yeah, and you're also born 2 days before me, which is insane. Just a bit of an
Wow.
icebreaker. Yeah. What's your favorite movie that you've watched this year?
Oh, this year. Um, do you know what? It's a split decision between F1
Yeah.
or I Swear.
Okay, I haven't watched
Have you
any of
heard that
those.
one?
Okay. I know F1, starring Danton Idris and
Yeah,
oh, Brad
that was
Pitt.
amazing. Absolutely incredible. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. I need to watch that. In terms of being an actor in your early 20s, how do you think that compares to being a millennial actor? I know you're not
Oh
a
god,
millennial actor.
gosh.
You didn't start acting,
Yeah.
I guess went around in the 90s or so and so forth. But how do you think the acting world is different for someone going into it in their early 20s now?
Well, it's a lot different from like maybe seeing an adult doing that because I have a lot of my followers on Facebook and Instagram. They're quite older than me, like at least in their 40s or 50s, and they have like muscles, they have tattoos, they have gold teeth, and I think being young in that kind of position, it's a bit more difficult for that because mainly the kind of the castings that I see, a lot of people are looking for like older people, or they're looking for
Mm.
like in a specific age range, or they're looking for specific nationality and such and such. And I think it's a selective process, and I think it's easier for maybe older people to do that, and it's a lot more of a struggle as well because uh, currently, not only am I doing this, I'm also working a part-time job as a mixologist as well. So I'm
So,
working 5 days a
methodologist.
week there. Yeah, yes, yes.
Okay, could you explain what a methodologist is? It sounds very
Oh,
interesting. Oh,
mixologist.
mixologist. So what is a
Yeah,
mixologist for those who don't know?
it's it's just a fancy name for a bartender.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I was thinking like science or something. Mixologist. Okay,
Oh.
yeah. So, being from Liverpool, how do you feel some sort of pride about your heritage and, going into the film and TV industry? How does that
Oh,
impact your thinking about, entering this sphere?
oh, gosh, yes. I mean, I think especially if casting agencies are looking for people in Liverpool, or they're looking to like film projects in Liverpool, I think it's easier for me to do that because because in reality, I actually grew up in Pensby, but I've lived in Newton, which is a town near West Kirby that's over the water from Liverpool, and
Right.
I've grown up in quite a privileged background, if that makes sense. And
Mm.
I think being around like those people and like being around all my friends and like managers at work and like listening to their accents and the way they speak and how they kind of interact with each other, I think I've like adapted to that, and I've learned how to like implement that in certain scenes or self tapes and stuff like
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned
that.
that your parents encouraged you, they saw something in you. and encouraged you to go into acting. Do you think that
Mhm.
that has a correlation with your, as you were saying, coming from a privileged like background?
I think so, yeah. But I think because my brother he lives all the way in Dubai and he has a decent job. So I think the main reason that they did that, I think that because they wanted me to have aspirations, I suppose. And I think learning from that, I have kind of adapted to this world that initially I didn't think was going to accept me. But now that I've kind of experienced more and more of it, it's easier for to adapt to it.
Yeah. And
Mm.
being, is it okay if I share this on but being autistic, you've spoken about this on your website.
Mhm.
How how is that different for you navigating this world?
Um, well, I'd say like I said before, it's selective, and I think um, I see myself as just like any normal person, except I just see the world differently to other people. Like I kind of have different perspectives of things. I don't really understand certain like interactions that certain people might have. I might not understand why people certain feel the way that they do. For example, uh, there was this time. There's times at work that I'll see people kind of uh, lash out or interact in certain situations that I won't really understand why they're doing it. And I think I've been able to implement that in acting. Like at certain points, I'll ask writers or directors, like, how should I interact with such and such, or how should I kind of be able to interact with a certain character in a specific way, or how they want me to do that. And I
Mm.
think that's been really useful, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And well, you've also mentioned improvisation. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think that uh, you know, being autistic has it's a superpower and it has kind of helped you to be, as you're saying, become these characters and be able to kind of switch on to do these improvisation scenes?
Um, Well, I don't necessarily view it as just a superpower. I just see it as like something that I can do naturally. And I think I've been able to
Mm,
implement that in certain scenes. So,
yeah.
and there are times where I can like collaborate with other people because sometimes every Monday or so, a place called the Art Spot does like a drop-in improv session every Monday night,
Mhm.
and I've stopped going there for about maybe a month or so. But I think because a lot of like-minded people like me go there, and I
Yeah.
think I've been able to collaborate with them more. And I think because there are some like a lot of wacky scenes that one might make. There was even one particular one where I did this kind of parody of the cobbler of a
Mm,
cobbler, and what happened was I was with a friend. We were in a shoe shop, and I'd given myself this ability to turn into any character whose shoes I wore, and I ended up
that's
turning
interesting.
into Katie Hopkins.
Oh wow, that's new.
Yeah,
That's new.
yeah.
That's a new one. Yeah. And I guess this ties into cosplay.
Hmm.
And how did
Oh
you get
yes, yeah.
into cosplay is really big at the moment in the UK and around the world. How did you get into that and what kind of drew you into?
Well, mainly I just like looked at other people and thought, well, what else could I do? And
Mm,
a lot of people would criticize this statement, but I think it doesn't matter like how much your budget is or what kind of materials that you use as long as it's like um, accurate enough, it's acceptable. Because once it was about back in May, I went as one of the foot soldiers from one of the Ninja Turtles film back in the 1990s.
yeah,
And a lot of people mistook me for Spider-Man or someone from Cobra Kai. I had to like explain it to them.
yeah,
But some people were quite accepting of it. Like at one point, this other guy came up to me and he's like, "Oh, can I have a selfie?" Oh, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. And because the foot soldiers don't speak in the film, I decided to like play along with it, and I was just like,
Yeah.
he came up to me, saw the photo, I was like that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it was
I
amazing.
am whoever you think I am. Yeah. Okay. Um, wow. And your first short film that you acted in was Creative Fear, released in 2021. And
Hmm.
I wanted to do this kind of visualization activity with you. So if you could close your eyes and
Okay.
we'll both close our eyes. And
Okay.
can you kind of transport yourself back to being on set on Creative Fear as,
Hmm.
you're dressed in the monster
Yeah.
costume? What are you thinking? What are you seeing? Let us know.
Um, well, for stars, I had a cold that day, so. um, but apart from that, I'm just thinking about like how can I implement myself to it. Because the casting director did offer to like have contacts in my eyes, but after some like outside advice, I decided not to do it. So instead of like putting the contacts in me, they lowered my hair down to my eyes because my hair was absolutely massive then. And what happened was in that specific shot that I just love the most, I had like my head down like that, and I had my smile like this, making sure it was absolutely insane. So, and in that moment, I just felt like I was becoming this monster and being able to just implement that in a specific short film with no, there's like zero budget. That was just so satisfying to me. And I think that's where my love of horror came. I think that's where my love of like wanting to be in horror films. I think that was a massive milestone for me. I think being in that situation and being able to collaborate with them, I think that furthered my confidence in doing this career. So it was a really big situation.
Yeah, and you also mentioned Christian Bale and his acting on what's the film? The Machinist in
Machinist, yeah.
2000, was it 2004? And
Yes, it was, yeah.
yeah, and he did method acting
Oh
and had
gosh,
to
yeah,
go on
yeah,
as you mentioned, an extreme diet.
yeah.
And
It was literally a can of tuna and an
mm,
apple for like the last 6 months and nothing else.
wow.
And he was like, well, he was so skinny.
Yeah, and I was wondering how far would you take method acting?
Ooh,
Yeah.
well, maybe not that far.
Not that far, yeah.
But in terms of like in a specific character, like say someone like um, maybe an extortionist working in New York City, working for the mafia, I would be able to like I would focus on being that specific character, maybe talking in a specific accent for a whole maybe 6 months before filming, or maybe say if I was playing a um, maybe someone like maybe a more iconic character like Joker or something. I wouldn't go
Mm.
as far as to like lock myself in a padded cell for for 3 months, but maybe something a bit more simple, like maybe just practicing the smiles every now and again. Maybe being able to talk to people in a specific way. Maybe even practicing a stand up comedy. So
Yeah.
there's so many different ways you can experience method acting, but I think there's times like with Christian Bale that you can go way too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's your dream role then? Because, we have um David Morrissey, he's from Liverpool. He starred in The Walking Dead as the governor. I don't know if you watched The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
also, what's his name? Stephen Graham, who starred in This Is England and more recently Adolescence. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering what kind of role you would like. What's your dream role?
Ooh.
What character would you love to play?
Do you know what? It's a split decision between either a vampire
Yeah.
or Tim Drake's Robin. He is
Oh,
my all time favorite Robin
okay.
because I think he suits the position of Robin more. Because Dick Grayson, he was a bit too cocky and sometimes a bit too arrogant to be Robin,
Mhm.
and Jason Todd, he was a bit too aggressive and too violent. And I think Tim, he just splits down the middle perfectly.
Yeah.
And the main reason he actually became Robin is because he basically blackmailed Bruce into becoming Robin, because he actually used his detective skills to find out that Bruce was Batman. So he
Mhm.
kind of forged his way into being Robin. And I think his kind of his knowledge of technology, his knowledge of like detective skills, his knowledge of like being his combat skills, I think I'd be able to implement
Yeah.
that.
So, vampire as in Twilight or Van Helsing? What kind of
I'm
vampire?
I'm thinking more Abigail. You ever seen Abigail?
Abigail, possibly. But yeah, what's
Yeah.
you describe like the movie that you would input this vampire in?
Maybe in something like not as, what's the word, cringy as Twilight, but
Yeah.
something
Okay. We love
and not
Twilight
as
here. But yeah, go on.
not something as like teen romance like Vampire Diaries
Mhm.
and any of that.
Yeah.
Maybe something a bit more creepy like Dracula, or
Okay.
maybe something
Yeah.
like if something fitting more into like Interview the Vampire, or maybe Sinners. Maybe something more similar to that
Ooh.
kind of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of sinners, what did you think of the movie? I
Oh
watched it.
yeah, yeah, it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked it as well.
A lot of people on like an outside perspective can like look at it and say it wasn't really a good vampire film, but I think it's to do with perspective, and I think if you're able to like separate that and just use it as a subgenre, and
Yeah.
like how music is used, like how Sammy used music to like
Mhm.
conjure the spirits, and
Yeah.
that summoned the vampires to them, and
Mhm.
it's like a story of how they kind of coped with that. I think
Yeah.
it's a perspective. It's a big perspective.
Yeah. And it's quite a different.
But yeah, I enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It's quite a different type of film from what the
Mm-hmm.
director usually goes for. Like Black
Mm-hmm.
Panther to Sinners, I feel like they're quite, it's a lot more horror
Oh yeah,
involved.
yeah.
I was going to ask, you mentioned Macbeth. So, where did your love for Shakespeare come from?
Ooh.
Because you said
I
that was your
think.
dream role as well, to be fair.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think mainly. I think it was from doing Romeo and Juliet in high school.
Okay.
I think I just fell in love with the way Shakespeare wrote his characters, and I think being on an analytical perspective and being able to like understand what was going on with the motivations of the characters, and like how he would use metaphors or like implicit sentences to help further those points. I think that was when I kind of fell in love with Shakespeare's writing, and specifically maybe a story like The Tempest as well. I'd love to play a character like
Mm.
maybe Ariel or Caliban. I did
Oh,
audition for the role of
yeah.
Ariel, but we actually went on holiday in America, so I couldn't do it. But I'd absolutely
Um,
love to play a character like Ariel one day, or Caliban.
yeah, so more so you see yourself playing like an explorer or historical drama as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Theatre. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said you went to acting school, right? So you went to, did you say you went to university and studied acting?
It was, yeah. My parents wanted me to do they want me to go to LMA instead because they saw that as more of an art school. But I said to them that I'd like the whole uni experience rather than going to an art school. So I decided on John Moores University instead.
Okay, so what did you learn there? Do you think that it was useful to go to this, study?
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, but mainly I learned a lot of improvisation techniques because in our second year we got to choose what specialization we chose. It could have been theatre acting, it could have been screen acting, it could have been tech stuff, or most recently they actually added in an improv specialization, and they invited a guy called Trev Fleming in to teach us.
Hmm.
And so it was only me and three other people who came
Yeah.
to who like studied under it.
Okay, so it's quite a
Do,
small
do you
class.
know Trev Fleming? Oh yes. Do you know Trev Fleming?
No, no, I don't. Travelink.
Oh,
No, but I reckon.
he's
Yeah, I'm just I recognise the surname Fleming. You mentioned.
Fleming. Fleming,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, just because I'm a history buff, so yeah, I just recognise
Ah.
Flanders, Fleming. Yeah. Um, but yeah, to close, do you have any words of inspiration to give to anyone listening?
Ooh. Oh, that's a good question. I think mainly if you have that specific dream, whatever dream it is, just keep following it no matter what sacrifices you have to make, no matter what kind of things that you lose, no matter what kinds of things you have to do, just keep following that specific dream that you love. And I think if you get to that point, just remember to remain humble as well. Just don't forget where you came from. Don't forget who you are as a person. And if you keep that specific person who you were like before that, I think it can be beneficial not only to you, not only to your friends and family, but also to the people around you, because they'll see you as like someone who was, made a lot of sacrifices, made a lot of developments, but chose to move ahead from that, but stay the same person. I think if you choose to remain humble and the same, it is very beneficial.
Words of wisdom. Do you have anything
Thank
coming
you.
up for the next year or the next few months? Any aspirations or anything cemented?
Well, recently I auditioned for a part in a Jimmy McGovern drama that's going to be on BBC soon.
Oh wow, okay,
Yes,
cool.
yes. He hasn't
So,
he hasn't said what it is yet.
right, okay. Did you get
Yeah,
the role?
but in
Or was it still
I don't know. Yes,
okay.
the applications close on January, but in the scene, I was playing a guy who was in prison for murdering his brother.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Amazing. Okay, so
yeah.
I'm guessing doing the research for this character, you really had to, what was the process like then?
Um, well, there was quite a hefty script to read, but the casting directors wanted to make sure that it was okay if I got lines wrong, or it was okay if I made mistakes, because they wanted to make sure that it was completely naturalistic. Like
Wow,
they
yeah.
didn't want me to yell, they didn't want me to like go over the top, they didn't want me to be too quiet. They didn't mind if I got lines wrong. They just wanted to make sure that it was completely natural because it
Mhm.
matches a lot of his previous work, like Time or Unforgiven or his other dramas that he's written.
Mhm. And do you like becoming someone else, like transforming into someone else?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think I wrote this down in my CV. I feel like that if I hop into somebody else's skin, I feel like I'm being myself. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I
yeah.
love that. So, uh, everyone watching, you can find all of Thomas's links, his social media pages below. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.